Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech, protected.
Welcome to Welcome Keene. My name is Aggie Cersosimo, and I really appreciate your time and support. Thank you for being with us today. I am Polish and I live in the United States, but today I'm really proud and I'm very excited to be part of the Indian community as we're approaching very festive time of the year where a lot of celebrations are happening. I would like to talk today about one of the most beautiful festival and celebration in the whole world, which is Diwali. And Diwali is a bright and colorful festival or festival of lights celebrated in India by Hindus, Sikhs, and Buddhists. The widely enjoyed holiday marks the Hindu New Year Day and covers a 5-day celebration of life. The festivity symbolizes the victory of good over darkness. And in my studio today, we have two princesses from India. And we are going to talk how it is to celebrate Diwali away from home. When I was preparing for the show today, I did some research, and it is said that there's 17 national holidays, public holidays in India. So in my opinion, India must be one of the most cheerful, the happiest nation in the whole universe, because you guys have to prepare for all those celebrations and make sure everybody's happy, and you just have no time to be negative. Welcome to our studio. With me today, Divya from India and Ritu from Divya. I'm so happy and excited to have you in the studio and talk about Diwali. Thank you for accepting my invitation and thank you for being here. How are you doing, ladies, today?
We are doing wonderful. Thank you, Aggie, for having us on your show. As always, this is, I think, our happy place to be, to talk about our culture and share some happiness from our side of the world with the rest of the world. So thank you for having us today.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Could you please tell us where you're from exactly in India?
So my name is Ritu Budakoti, and I was born and brought up in Dehradun, which is a city in Uttarakhand, near the Holy Ganges. And I was married into a family which is in New Delhi. So I have lived a big part of my life in New Delhi, and that is the capital of India.
Right.
And so,
how about you, Divya? Where are you from?
This is Divya Janakiram. So I'm from Bangalore, and Bangalore is a part of South India. Mm-hmm. It's a capital of Karnataka again. So yeah, I come from there.
That's great. Yeah. That's far away from the capital of India, right?
Yes, really, two extremes.
What is the climate? What is your climate in India? What is your climate?
I would say Bangalore is typical to Keene. That's why I love Keene or New Hampshire so much, because we get to see all the 4 seasons there.
Really? You have 4 seasons there?
Yes, it's just that we don't have snow in Bangalore. But apart from that, we have rain and autumn and summer and spring. Everything is there.
Does it get cold?
It does.
It does. Okay,
yeah,
so that wasn't new to you.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, snow is new to me, though.
Okay.
Yeah, apart from
but
snow,
the cold is.
Yeah, I'm used to it.
How about you, Ritu?
So Delhi is predominantly, sort of a tropical kind of a climate. We do get really cold winter. The December and January time is very foggy and very dense, climate at that time. But other than that, it's pretty nice. It's very festive, especially right now. It's a beautiful time.
It is, and is it close to Bhutan? Is it the?
Yeah, so Bhutan is actually the neighboring country, one of the neighboring out of the 7 countries.
So it's not that far away from the town that you grew up in?
Well,
it is
on a piece of paper of map.
Yes,
right,
it's
not
that
far.
exactly.
Let's say that.
So before we start talking about Diwali, I would like to talk a little bit about India, some information about India. Could you please tell me how big, what is the population of India right now?
So I don't have the exact number in my hands, but I believe we are about 1.5 billion people, not million, billion people. Yeah, so I think we definitely are making progress in that.
You're representing a big nation here.
We are.
Divya, do you know how big the Indian population in Madnag region might be?
I think we have about 30 to 40 families now, but I do know that a year back, probably we had 100 or so, but we have them just move across to different places because of the work. But otherwise, yeah, we're at least 40
That's very
families
nice.
here.
That helps you feel like more connected and
Yes,
not so
we do.
isolated and lonely, right?
That's how we can celebrate our festivals
Yes.
way back from there here
Yes.
with family.
Perfect. Do you have a national language?
So just so for some of our folks who are watching us today, if you know that any Indian you come across, English is primarily their third or fourth language. So India is a land of languages. We have, about more than 300 languages and even more dialects in the country. And so
So that means that you both speak 2 different languages in India?
we speak
Yes.
more than 2.
More than 2. Yeah.
More than 2.
Yeah. It's that, like India is at least having 28 to 29 states. So each state has its own language, has its
And
own...
it's totally different?
Yes, it is.
Very entirely.
Wow.
And,
The
and
food
sometimes
and everything changes from
Correct.
state to state, even though we are neighboring. Even in South, we all have different
really
food cultures,
fascinating.
different
Yeah.
cultures.
Yeah, and even within the same state, we, as Divya mentioned, language changes. But also, like if you're from the north part of the state, it will be a little different dialect or a little extra spice.
Yeah.
So it kind of varies, the variation in language and food.
But you do learn English at school, so you can find a common language.
That is true. We can say that was one benefit of getting colonized for 200 years.
So true.
Do you have like any, let's say, can you name 3 major holidays in India? Or it's like, it also varies to different states?
So predominantly because India is, is the biggest democracy in the world. We have many religions and many people from different faith who celebrate. So we see all the celebrations around the world of bigger festivals that we see is actually, we were able to see them in India as well, being
So you
celebrated.
adopted them, right?
Well, there are people from other faiths that reside in India. So when they
why.
celebrate, so we have like, we I think it is the beautiful thing.
But
that to be
Diwali
able
would
to
be
see.
one of the major holidays.
Diwali,
Correct.
You
then
have
we
a
have-
Holi, right? That's
Holi.
a big holiday
Correct.
as well.
So those are most predominantly the Hindu
right,
faith based,
We have-
right.
and then we have
Holidays for Christmas. We have holidays for Ramzan.
Wow.
So yeah, we have.
Well, you
different
have a lot of
holidays.
reasons to celebrate.
yes,
that's for
yes,
sure.
yes.
So let's talk a little bit about food, because food is always like the happy place, the happy everything in your life. Do you? It probably varies again, right? But what is the typical Indian food?
I think we can say something is just typical Indian food.
There's no-
Because our food again varies with the culture, right? So we have diverse cuisines in there. So every food comes with different variety. Now, me being a South Indian, married to another South Indian, there are different ways that food is prepared in my house versus his house.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, there itself you come to see. It's a big collaboration. Now we have 2 different cuisines being cooked in my house. So it's not that it's just this cuisine or this type of food.
Is your husband a cook?
Oh no, he's not.
She's trying to teach it.
Hopefully.
That's a hard lesson.
Yeah, I know.
How about a beverage? Any traditional beverage?
So we again, as it comes depending upon which part of the country. Well, tea as we don't call tea, but it's chai. Chai and coffee are very common beverages that you will find, in all parts of India. You'll find many different varieties of chai.
Is it hot?
It is hot chai, yes, correct. And then you will find masala chai, and all the kind of it depends upon, what kind of season you are in. So everything is done
Winters.
Right?
But it is also, I think our elderly people were much more advanced scientifically as well. They thought of the food habits in terms of how to balance the outside temperature with your body temperature. So that's why in some parts when it is really hot, we will have lassi, which is a drink made with, yogurt and mango pulp. Wow. And it is very delicious. If you haven't had, you should try.
I will.
Right.
Mango lassi is very famous. And then we have also the coconut water is very common as well, especially in the southern part of our country. You see, the streets will be lined up in the summertime with all the coconuts, the green coconuts around, and they serve as, and instead of the plastic bottles, which is
Electrolytes.
also available, we have natural electrolytes in the
Electrolytes.
form of
Yes,
tender
absolutely.
coconuts.
And it's organic.
Organic,
right?
yes.
Right from the
Yes.
tree.
Yes.
Okay, so one more question about. Oh, actually, I have two more questions. What is the significance of the hindi?
So we both come from, like I come from the northern part of India, and so I will explain, for us, so men and women both wear bindi in a way. The men wear the vermilion, as we call it. It's called tika, and that is an offering that we do after, making, if you're doing worshipping and offering, especially in the Hinduism culture, you are going to, offer a prayer to a deity, and then you will actually put the vermilion, and then you will put that on as showing your symbol of being a devotee to a deity. For females, that actually resemble two things in northern India, is that we put the bindi, of course, we will put the auspicious one after the worshipping, but also, it also signifies that a married woman will be putting up that's a part of your showing the significance that you're married now, and then you are going to wear a bindi, and then we have a little sindoor that we wear. That kind of signifies that I'm a married woman now.
Wonderful. So it's like our wedding ring, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and then maybe Divya has.
Yeah, and down in South, it is like we wear bindi from the time we are kids, so we don't have any difference as such, like it comes with marriage or not. So, that's the difference.
Do
And
they
as-
come in different colors or different?
Oh yes, we
No,
have
multiple.
them even as liquids, so you can dip a stick and just put it on. It's called as we call it a shringar. Like it's a small liquid thing, and that's what I used as a kid. And growing, it changed to bindi, and with the wedding, as Ritu said, comes the sindoor. So that's how we.
I love them. They look so beautiful. Like it's just amazing. And one more question: what is the national Indian sport?
National Indian sport is.
It's field hockey.
It's field
Field
hockey.
hockey.
Believe me or not, people would say cricket.
I would say cricket.
I would want to say cricket, but I think it is field hockey. I would also contest it to be very close to now kabaddi, because that was supposed to be played, very ancient game, and it came about. I think there was a big push of making it as a national game.
How about chess?
We're good at it.
I know you are like the founder of the chess, so you have to be good.
Yes.
But it's not a national sport.
It is not a national sport.
Perfect. So now maybe we can move on a little bit to Diwali, and I just want to ask you the question before we start everything. As as an immigrant, I know that it's not easy to be away from home, especially. I think the holidays make it even more challenging to be away from home. How do you guys feel right now? Because Diwali is started today, right? Like the whole celebration. How do you feel about it? Are you excited because you found your home here, or you still have those feelings that you feel lonely and you miss your family and you feel disconnected, or it gets better over time? How does it work for you? I just want to find remedy for my feelings.
So for me, any festival away from my family has always been, very challenging. Because I'm a very connected person, and I just, miss my family on many levels.
And how long have you been here in the United States?
I have been on and off, but for the past, my this continuous residence in Keene area is, this is almost going to be 12th year.
12 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So-
it's still challenging.
It's still
right?
challenging. So anyhow, so I think we do definitely miss family, and so video calls and phone calls are very, very
helpful.
lifelines and helpful, and we try to be there in the moment.
Yes. Some pictures like I look like this.
Yes,
and I made
yes.
this, and I'm going to make
Yes,
this, right?
yes.
Yeah. How about you, Divya? The
So
same?
if I was way at home now, probably instead of the studio, I would have had a call from my sister-in-law. So they're, washing up the roads and the outings, and they're having the rangolis being drawn and getting ready for the next day morning, because it's the eve of Diwali.
Right.
So yeah, everyone will be preparations. There will be new clothes, and all of them will be getting ready.
So you
right?
are connected.
Yes,
Even
we
though
are.
you're far away, you still have
Yeah,
that connection.
yeah.
So
And I think that is important.
that is very important.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
basically saves that beautiful time of the year, right?
Right, right.
Could you please answer the question, what is the origin of Diwali and what is the point of Diwali?
So Diwali, as you said, right? Diwali or Deepavali means
Mm-hmm.
row of lamps or light. So that's what we do, right? In Indian tradition, we normally light up our houses with diyas, the lamps. And as you said before, right? So Diwali is a significance where it is a victory of knowledge over ignorance, good over evil, and the light over darkness. So it's always like, it's a victory. And we celebrate it, right? So every time, it's not that just we celebrate during Diwali. So I would say that spirit is always there.
Yes. That's how about the origin? That's the origin, or that's the point, the main point?
The origin is like it was Lord Rama, who was in exile for about 14 years, comes back home after defeating Ravana. So that day he came back home, the whole Ayodhya was lit up with lamps to welcome him in the happiness, right? So they were very happy that he was coming back after exile after 14 years. So with that started Diwali. So that is how. There
That's
are
how
many
it
more
started.
significances,
Right.
right?
What are the legends? Do you have
Many,
any?
so that is one
Right,
legend.
there's one legend.
The main one that we also talk about, because the worship of the goddess Lakshmi. Lakshmi is the goddess of wealth and prosperity. And so the legend goes that that one of the gods actually, they were how they were kind of talking down to goddess Lakshmi, and she was mad that they are talking like that. So she went down to the ocean and she said, I'm not coming back, I'm going to live here. And then the gods have to like pray her, because if she is not there around, there is no light, no wealth, no prosperity, and everything is in darkness. So they have to worship her and request her to basically asking for forgiveness, that we are not going to be doing what we did and we are very sorry. But she was like very she stood on her point and she said, no, that was not cool. And anyhow, so then the gods decided to actually do samudra manthan, as we call it, like churning of the ocean. And then so through that churning, when that happened, eventually she was happy that now they're making an effort. She came back, goddess, and then that is the also. So on the day of, like, today is called the very first day of Diwali. It's called Dhanteras. Dhan means wealth, and then Dhanteras means we are worshiping the goddess of Lakshmi, so that we are. We all can be blessed with abundance of wealth and prosperity. And it is also not about just materialistic wealth. It is about your knowledge, your spiritual wealth as well. So yes, so there are many other legends that go. Yes,
I mean, it probably varies to the state, maybe, right?
Yes, it does.
Absolutely.
Like, I actually said Dhanteras is there. We have Diwali, we have Narka Chaturdasi, which is another killing of a demon, Narkasura, right? So Krishna had defeated him or killed the demon on that day. So we have that there. And Lakshmi
Coming
Puja
of
is there.
Pandavas.
Yeah, the homecoming of
Pandavas and
Pandavas.
seeds, yeah.
There are many such things that go with Diwali.
What are the symbols of Diwali? We have some.
Yeah, we have a lamps around here.
Yes.
So yeah, it's like light, lamps, rangolis, which again adds a lot of color, as you said. And then we have sweets, food.
Yeah.
Right? And we have fireworks.
Fireworks.
So many fireworks.
There must be so much fun, especially for the kids, right?
Yeah, like
yes.
we would just wait, we would have boxes of fireworks or crackers that we call would come home, and we would just wait when our parents would come with us and when we could go and, have fun there.
Yeah. I remember that when we were kids, and I think still it's in practice, but I remember particularly about my house, about the symbols, as you asked. We used to make like the footprints of goddess Lakshmi coming from the gate to our house. So all the little, like, whoever is the littlest, and I was the youngest in my house, and being a girl, I was given that job. Like, I was on a colored powder, and then I would just, like, step.
That brings light to your heart,
yes,
right? It warms up your heart when you remember
at
things
least
like
I was
that.
special for a day.
Right, you remember things like that forever.
Yes,
Because they feel
yes.
very special, and they make the festival even more special, right?
Absolutely.
Please tell me, how do you celebrate Diwali in India?
So, do you want to go first?
Again, we would have a difference in south,
Right.
north, east, and west. So I would talk for what we would do in south is we would start with an oil bath in the morning.
So that's the first day? Because there's 5 days of celebration.
Yes,
of Diwali,
sometimes people
right?
do it all the 5 days, or they do it the 1st day. People who cannot do it on the 5 days do it on the first day. So we have an oil bath. Then comes the new clothes, and you go out and get to do a few fireworks after the puja. Come back and we have delicious breakfast. And again, get back to fireworks, come back, we'll have lunch. It's a special day, right? So we would have special meals being
Right,
cooked. I
right.
really feel sad for my mom and my grandparents.
Do you prepare all the food before?
No,
before
we
the whole-
prepare it on that
The
day.
day of the
Every day
festival.
is different food because every day would have. So when it is Lakshmi, like Diwali or Lakshmi Puja, we will have very light food. And in South, especially from where I come, in a few houses they do have non-vegetarian food on the Diwali day, like Naraka Chaturthi, as we say. So it differs again, every family to family. There is different way we celebrate.
How about the second day?
Second day we would again, for us, for me as a child, it was just fireworks, and we would have puja at home. We would have a lot of bhajans which we would sing, which are small songs where the mom does the puja and then we
It's like
sit
chanting,
around,
yes.
chanting, sing, and then
Okay,
Fun.
and the third day, that's the day of Diwali. That's the
Yeah, we
actual
would
day of
have,
Diwali.
all of us would go back to my grandma's place where all my grandparents' kids would come in. That's my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, all would be there, and all of us would again have fireworks there, and then she would be very happy in cooking food for us. That's how it is celebrated in my place.
And fourth day?
I think that typically that's it for us. So
Yeah.
it's about
3 days.
Yeah.
So I think, I mean, like, of course, like, in the sense of like the worldly sense, it may say that, it's over the 5 days. But to be very honest, the way it happens is that, it is celebrated differently between families to families as well,
Right, correct.
regardless of where you come from. And also, sometimes if you are more, I would say, are more privileged and could do more, then I think your festivities even start like, a month in advance. So it's the whole month of like, meeting and exchanging greetings and going for, dinners with families that you haven't seen in the whole year. That is the time of the year that you get to do this. And everybody is like, sort of getting into the vibe of festival.
Ritu, you also mentioned before the show that today would be the day, if you were in India, today would be the day where you go, where you buy gold. What is it about?
I wouldn't buy gold. So what I was saying is today is actually in northern part of India. Of course we have 5 days, but the first two, like, the first day, today is Dhanteras. Dhan means wealth. Again, and so Dhanteras, we are worshipping again the goddess, and actually Dhan Kuber, who is known as the savior and the gatekeeper of all the wealth in the world, materialistic, spiritual, any kind of wealth. So tonight is the night. Generally practice when we were little, we were considered that buying a very precious metal on the day is very very, very auspicious for the family, brings good luck. So depending upon which, how people can afford, because not everybody can afford gold.
Right, I know. Not every year.
Not every year, and I don't think many of us, gold is, yes, it's a thing, but not everybody can buy. So anyways, in my family, what we did was, my mother really loved, and she was like, she would follow all the tradition, but she also would be, because we are, very, very mindful of our upbringing and the financial. So, but she would always enjoy buying, the kitchen items, and she would say, no, that ways I can actually buy something for the kitchen that we actually use,
And it's good for the whole family, right?
It is for the
Works
whole
for the whole
family, and
family.
sometimes for the community, because when we were little, if there was a community thing going on, people would be coming. There was not culture of like ordering or catering food, so it would be your job to bring your big pots and pans and cook for their guests, because it is not their guest technically, it is your guest, because you live in a neighborhood. So
Oh my God, that's so awesome.
So here also in Keene we have kept that alive, so we still go and buy, like, if I can buy some metal spoon
That's metal,
or
right?
a plate, I still do that.
How do you make sure that you feel kind of at home, away from home, celebrating Diwali? How do you feel that it's part of you, right? Or your It's your
Right.
piece.
So, as I was sharing with you earlier, we also, because we are living far away from our family, so nothing can bring or bridge that gap. We are very thankful for the technology that brings us closer to home, but it's not the same. If we were back home, you just get into the vibe of the festival. It's everywhere around.
Exactly.
But here you have to make an effort, not only to recreate what it would be back home, but also to be able to give that to your kids, because they are not there. They haven't experienced that thing. In fact, my son has not been in India for the past, he's 11 years old, and he hasn't seen a single Diwali in India, unfortunately, because this is the school time of the year. We haven't been. So how can we translate that to them, and how can we give them the same values, or the same festive feeling. Of the festival? We are very fortunate, though, in spite of living so far away from our family, we have our friends here around, an extended community of friends from India that we get together, and that kind of fills that void that Divya is like my sister.
Yes.
So helps. It helps.
You have your own people that you can celebrate with, and they understand. You don't have to explain it; they just know it.
Right, and then we share our culture with our Polish sisters.
Right, and I want to come to the festival. Thank you so much, ladies, for being here in our studio. Happy Diwali to you. Would you like to say something to your Indian community, to your family? Please go ahead and greet them. Say hello.
Sure. Well, we hope that this festive season of Diwali, which is a festival of lights, bring lots of light in all our lives, and that you are blessed with abundance, prosperity, wealth of knowledge, and inspiration to do something good for yourselves and to do something good for our community, a global community. And we also wish that with this Diwali season, it brings lots of light in our world, that we are going through a very tough time as a global community. I hope it brings more peace and more harmony in the world. So wherever you are, enjoy, be happy, and just eat some sweets.
Happy Diwali to everyone. Namaste.
Namaste. Happy Diwali.
Happy
Happy
Diwali.
Diwali.